More breaking Philadelphia Eagles news to get to as the Eagles have signed 15 players. They claimed a very intriguing player off the waiver wire, and they've added an offensive lineman to their active roster. Howie Roseman today, busy putting together the Eagles practice squad. We also have some big-time Eagles injury news to touch on as well. This is Eagles Now. My name is Chase Sr. Clearly, I got a lot of sun today in Costa Rica, and no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, I appreciate you for making this evening show a part of your evening. A reminder, subscribe to the channel for nonstop Eagles coverage coming your way on YouTube every single day, year-round. It keeps the content free when you subscribe. It keeps the studio lights on, and I'm telling you right now, there isn't anybody more passionate about covering the birds than me. Yours truly, Chase Sr. So a lot of you have liked the Costa Rica content. You asked for more, so I'm going to let some videos play as we talk some Eagles here. I'm staying near Jaco Beach. I used to pronounce it Jaco Beach, but I got that wrong. I sounded like a tourist, but now that I've been here a few days, I'm trying to get more acclimated with my surroundings, and I'm staying on a mountain and farmland. The drive up the mountain, as you can see to the house, which is all naturally built, is about 15 minutes. It gets pretty rugged. You can't get up here without four-wheel drive. And the house and the views, absolutely beautiful. No air conditioning. It's very simple. Don't even have a TV here, but very moderate climate, very simple living. Despite it being rainy season here, I actually really like the weather. It's just served as a perfect getaway. Couple of mountain dogs that come by to hang out and some cats that also hang out around the house. Great companions and company. I'm a big dog and animal guy. Today, hit up Playa Montas. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. A beautiful white sand beach about an hour from here. Calm waters, nice for swimming. There's a lot of great surfing in Costa Rica and in this area, but wanted a chill vibe today. I didn't need any big crashing waves. I saw some barrel waves yesterday, but today just wanted to be able to kind of chill, kick it in the ocean. And the water from the mountain drains into the Pacific Ocean. So very scenic. Very beautiful. Love this way of life. Love the people here. Love the cleanliness of the environment, the simplicity, the very healthy food, and everything is so affordable. Honestly, I want to make this an annual trip. I felt this calling to come to Costa Rica over the last few weeks, last couple of months. I was here, I don't know, probably 15 years ago, and I'm not sure why I was drawn here. I think that I just needed to get away like this after the grind of the 2024 football season into this offseason. So blessed to be here. Appreciate everybody for watching the content and taking interest in all of this stuff. It is a blessing. I don't take it for granted what I do. All right, let's talk some birds here. Philadelphia Eagles signing 15 players to the practice squad today. They could add one more player. All teams across the NFL are eligible to have 16 players on the practice squad. And so this is the practice squad for Philadelphia as of right now. Linebacker Chance Campbell, and I'll do some deep dive analysis on all of these players here in just a moment. Wide receiver Elijah Cooks. Running back Audric Estime. Offensive guard Kenyon Green. Tight end E.J. Jenkins, cornerback Brandon Johnson, pass rusher Patrick Johnson back on the taxi squad, tight end Cam Latu, wide receiver Terrace Marshall, quarterback Kyle McCord passed through waivers, he's back, cornerback Parry Nickerson, offensive tackle Hollin Pierce, edge rusher Antwaun Powell-Ryland, Eagles did not lose him on the waiver wire, cornerback Eli Ricks, and safety Andre Sam. And just some analysis and thoughts on all of these players here. A little bit of a surprise to see Chance Campbell back. He did know linebackers coach Bobby King from their time in Tennessee together, but Campbell only joined the team a week ago, hasn't played in a regular season game since 2023. Off-ball linebackers Dallas Gant, Lance Dixon, they had good summers, but they weren't added to the practice squad at least yet. And so Campbell is, and maybe he can be a special team player for this club. Elijah Cooks was having an awesome training camp prior to suffering a shoulder injury in the first preseason game. He struggled after returning to action. I think it's good to keep him around for wide receiver depth. Upside, Little bit limited because he turns 27 years old in October, and I believe he's entering his third year in the NFL, but he's a big-bodied wide receiver who, throughout training camp, was making a lot of nice plays. Estime, new addition, 21-year-old running back, and he's probably going to be RB4 behind Saquon Barkley, Will Shipley, and A.J. Dillon. He was a fifth-round pick by the Denver Broncos in the 2024 NFL Draft, and I always value Sean Payton's eye when it comes to evaluating offensive personnel. And so Estime becomes a very intriguing addition to this Eagles practice squad. Montrell Johnson hasn't been signed by any team yet and did not return to the Eagles practice squad. Some people were saying keep him over A.J. Dillon. I disagreed with that. Kenyon Green, he's what the Eagles got back in the C.J. Gardner-Johnson trade, a big whiff of a trade and a rare whiff for Howie Roseman. Struggled to stay healthy and play well throughout the summer, but he's going to attend Jeff Stoutland University, and maybe the 2022 top 15 pick can develop and kick it into gear. As of right now, has been able to do that. He is only 24 years old, though. Jenkins probably going to be the fourth tight end behind Dallas Goedert, Grant Calcaterra, and Kylan Granson. If one of those players gets banged up, Jenkins going to elevate to the active roster. Brandon Johnson, the cornerback out of Oregon, thought he showed some promise at nickel corner, and the Eagles need some depth there. Getting Patrick Johnson back on the practice squad is big. He has been a fascinating and awesome preseason player, and I'm surprised that he didn't try to go to another team to maybe get some more snaps. It was hard for the Eagles to keep him off the 53 and off the practice squad. And so I think he's a strong candidate to get elevated to the active roster, game day roster early in the year. And maybe he's eventually signed to the Eagles 53. Cam Latu stinks as a tight end, but he is a good special teams player. Terrace Marshall, I saw some people write about this. He's like a quad A player in baseball where if you have an emergency, you can plug him in at wideout and he can be okay, pretty much serving in that Parris Campbell role from last year. It's great to see Kyle McCord back. I think he's an NFL arm. I liked him coming out of Syracuse. He did more with the orange with less talent than he did at Ohio State. He found his confidence under Fran Brown. I thought he played really well. He has an NFL arm, but he's green. And so the Eagles going to look to develop him. And right now he's QB4 behind Jalen Hurts, Tanner McKee, and Sam Howell. Parry Nickerson, kind of that quad A type of player. He can play inside, outside, and had a really good training camp and in the preseason. Hollin Pierce needs to develop. The Trenton, New Jersey native, going to be staying close to home. Of course, he too can attend Jeff Stoutland University. I really liked him as a UDFA pickup after the draft. Antwaun Powell-Ryland, coming back to the practice squad, he needs time to develop. He flashed in that final preseason game, but prior to that, really had a silent summer, but I'm glad APR is back. Eli Ricks, I thought there was a chance, and I talked about this here on the show, that he was going to go somewhere else to get more playing time, to get a better opportunity. He's probably the 8th corner in Philadelphia right now, behind the 6 on the roster and Parry Nickerson on the practice squad, but Eli Ricks is back. With the Eagles waiving Tristan McCullum, Andre Sam, strong candidate to be temporarily elevated to the practice squad early in the year. But Tristan McCullum could also come back to the practice squad. He made the initial Eagles 53-man roster. Speaking of that, with Trevor Keegan getting waived, with McCullum getting waived and Trevor Keegan getting waived, they could contend to fill out the remaining final practice squad spot. But keep in mind, Laken Vakalahi could be added by way of the International Pathway Program. Of note here as well, Anais Smith did not get claimed, but he is going to the Carolina Panthers practice squad. And maybe he has an opportunity to get some snaps there for a young upstart team catching footballs from Bryce Young. But Anais Smith not coming back to Philadelphia, the 5th-round pick from 2024. And the Eagles' punt returner situation still remains unclear. Okay, still to come here. The Eagles also added a very highly intriguing player to their 53-man roster, claiming them off waivers, and it's Willie Lampkin. We're going to talk about him as a player and also a lot of key Philadelphia Eagles injury news. But before we get to all of that, got to tell you about our sponsor, our friends at Prize Picks. This episode of Philadelphia Eagles Now, sponsored by Prize Picks. Preseason football is underway. College football is here, so don't miss any of the action this season on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code CLNS and get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. It's the best daily fantasy sports app in the industry. You can submit your picks in less than 60 seconds. You can win up to 2,000 times your money. Show off your football knowledge with Prize Picks. Sign up today using our link and use that code CLNS to get $50. Claim that right now. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. You pick 2 to 6 players. You choose more or less on their stat projections for a season. For a game, it makes the season and the games a whole lot more fun, and it really makes for a very fun fan and viewer experience. So I'm going to put that link down below in the show notes and attached to the pinned comment of today's Philadelphia Eagles Now. All right, so I love the Eagles putting in a waiver claim for interior offensive lineman / center Willie Lampkin. And you think about when the Eagles drafted Jason Kelce, they kind of started the trend of taking and developing and having a smaller, agile, fast, athletic center by drafting Jason Kelce, a guy who is obviously one of the best centers of all time, the best center in the history of this organization, I should say, who's so athletic, getting out in space on some of those pull blocks. And Willie Lampkin is small. He's like 279 pounds, but he can move. And he had a really nice preseason. He has a wrestling background, and he is nasty. Very fun watching him at North Carolina and keeping tabs on him in the pre-draft process. He was an unbelievable wrestler in high school. He finished his senior season going 47-0 on the wrestling mat, and that translates to his tape. He plays with really good leverage because he's small, but when you're a wrestler, you need to be flexible. You need to be agile, quick on your feet, and you need to play with leverage. And so Lampkin does that. He has very good hand usage. He has very quick and agile feet. He might be the shortest offensive lineman to play in the NFL, but he's certainly one of the toughest, and he was the highest graded rookie offensive lineman during the preseason, according to Pro Football Focus. He gets added to the Eagles' 53-man roster among the slew of roster moves that we're seeing today, and I can't wait to see Jeff Stoutland develop him, and he is going to become a fan favorite because he's a little bit of an underdog, but he plays the game with this tenacity, aggressiveness, physicality, and spunk, and I think Eagles fans will take a liking to Willie Lampkin. Let's round out with some Eagles injury news here. This is big looking ahead to week 1. I mean, we are 8 days away from the regular season opener at Lincoln Financial Field. Eagles-Cowboys on September 4th. A.J. Brown back at practice. He missed 3 weeks with that hamstring injury. Landon Dickerson a couple of weeks ago had that knee surgery. He, too, was back at practice today. And then Tanner McKee, who had that fracture in his finger, was also back at practice. And so if you had any concerns, and I voiced some of those potential concerns about Tanner McKee being QB2 behind Jalen Hurts to start the year, he's going to be active, it seems, with Sam Howell being the third-string quarterback and the emergency quarterback. And what a luxury that is. I mean, the guy has started a lot of games at the NFL level. So that does it for this edition of Philadelphia Eagles Now. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm glad everybody is really liking the Costa Rica content. Let me know what you think of it down below in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you tomorrow right here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles. Go Birds. Imperial Costa Rica beer, love it. Not a sponsor, but they should be. Bye-bye.